It's time for the Doug Garrison Show. Tonight's show features some very creative people like local author John Smolens and the book The Way North. Mike Naddeo and his Project MQT are here. And NMU video contest winner Ryan Stevens visits with his video. And if that's not enough, I'm here. Stick around. The Doug Garrison Show starts now.
Tell the host 2 minutes. Stand by live to tape. Lighting to show level, please. Confirm front of house sound, PFL. Roll tape on masters, channel to places. All right, let's clear the set. Cue John music, open stage mics, standby effects, standby CG. Standby to open on 3, 2. All right, folks, let's have a good show. Stand by, roll it in.
Good evening, or good afternoon, depending upon when you're watching the show. Welcome to the Doug Garrison Show. Thanks for joining us at home on Charter Channel 12 and Fox UP. Of course, you can watch the show on Charter On Demand and at our website, thedouggarrisonshow.com, and you can like us on Facebook, keep up on what we're doing, who our guests are going to be, and what types of things they're talking about. We've got an interesting show for you tonight. We're going to take advantage again of that big university there in North Marquette. We've got some people from NMU. We've got a creative show for you tonight. In fact, everybody on the show has some expertise in some creative field. Well, not everybody, not me, of course. But we've got an author, we have a photographer, we have a videographer, not just a videographer, we have a videographer champion, and we've got some of their works to show you tonight. So I think you're going to enjoy it. Stick around. We'll be right back with all of that.
We believe success comes through more than just hard work and determination. It's about the belief that you get out of life whatever you put into it. This is why the Gilbert Dairy strives to provide you with the highest quality dairy products possible. And with 70 farms located throughout the Upper Peninsula, Gilbert is more than just a name, it's a lifestyle. So from our family to yours and throughout the communities of the Upper Peninsula, we'd like to thank you for your loyalty and support. Gilbert Dairy is helping the UP grow 1 gallon at a time.
At Bell, we understand how important your family's health is. After all, we have families too. We know that sometimes it takes more than a kiss from Mom or her chicken soup to make you all better. Bell Medical's family physicians treat you as if you were part of our family. Our families treating your family. Family practice.
All right, I may have mentioned, this is an all creative arts show. We've got some very creative people on this week. Started off with John Smolens, a professor of English at Northern Michigan University. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Doug.
We've had a lot of people from Northern on lately, and I've mentioned it's a great resource for this community and for this area to have a university over there producing the works that you do and all the events and activities, and it's great to be able to take advantage of your expertise here tonight.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
You've got a book with you. It's called The Way North, and you tell me this is coming out in May.
That's right.
And it's an anthology, including a lot of different writers. Tell us about it.
42 writers who have some connection with the UP. Some are native born and others have come here through good fortune, including myself. Most of the work in here is about the UP or in some way connected to it. It's poems and short stories. Some of us have written about the UP for years and some are just starting out. The nice thing here is that some of the authors have considerable track records, if you will, and some of them are really just starting out. There's a few poems in here by a young man named Cameron Whitbeck, who's just now graduating from our MFA program. And we're very proud of him and the others. And so it's nice to be in the pages with some of my students.
Exciting for a young man like him to be published with some more seasoned authors. Does the UP, you know, we kind of tend to think this place is special and beautiful and unique. And I guess it is, but other people think their areas are special and unique too. Sure. Does this area inspire better writing somehow? Is that possible?
I wouldn't say better, but I think if you were to read virtually anything in this book, the 42 writers all believe that there really is something unique about the UP. They draw on it for inspiration, for stories, for images. I think that they treat it as a place that is very different from other places that they're familiar with, that they know. It's interesting how many of the people in this book who had some former connection now live elsewhere, but they still very often come back, and they very often find that they're writing about the UP, either past experiences or based on something in the present. So I think the UP is one of these places that it is special, and it sticks with you. It just, it won't let go.
Yeah,
It's in your blood.
Well, we see so many people over the years who have left and either tried to come back or actually succeeded and have come back.
Oh, yes.
I know something about maybe not being surrounded by thousands of people that maybe allows you to be more introspective or see things differently and maybe be a little more. I think we have a very creative community here.
Absolutely.
And not just in writing,
Absolutely.
but in music and all kinds of arts. You're a fiction professor, and most of the work in here you say is fiction.
Well, there's fiction and poetry.
Okay.
The first third or almost half of the book is poetry, and then there's a number of short stories.
And I want to point out, April is National Poetry Month.
Yes, it is.
So
yes.
I'm glad you're here for that. You know, I'm thinking back of the movie Sideways, and I don't know if you saw it or not.
Did.
But one of the guys is a writer, and the other guy's dad says, "What are you writing? Is it fiction or nonfiction?" He said, "It's fiction." And the guy said, "I don't want to read about that." Right. The idea was that he's just making up some stories.
Right.
And this man would rather read something nonfiction. Right. How do you address? What would you say to that man?
I'd say you should give it a try. All fiction does in some way come from the reality that we know.
Sure.
It certainly isn't autobiographical. The story of mine in here actually is about a professor, but it is not autobiographical. It's actually just a woman, for one thing. I do think that people who express some concern about reading fiction, I would love to sit down with them for 5 minutes. I could give them a list and say, try these. I find this with some of my undergraduate students who are reluctant to take certain reading courses. I teach a course called Good Books. My goal by the end of the semester is if I have 8 or 9 books on the syllabus, that they may not like every single one of them, but a good number of them they're going to feel that it was definitely worth their reading them.
And so basically fiction, all fiction is derived from fact anyway, and it's maybe just taking something that might be mundane and making it a little more interesting and creative.
Well, yes, and the emphasis is on creative. Yeah. Some fiction obviously goes into very different realms. You have science fiction, you have fantasy, and all that sort of thing. And that has its own appeal. Personally, I like to write, and I usually read fiction that is based on the world that we live in. Much of it is often historical. The fiction in here is wonderfully varied. Most of the stories are set in the UP, or as I say, in some way the author is someone who has been greatly influenced by the UP. The images throughout this book you would recognize in a moment. Everything from the lake to the woods, the streams, the fishing, the hunting, it's all there.
One thing I like, 42 different writers are represented in here. And one thing that appeals to me is, honestly, I have a hard time sitting down with a big book and reading through that whole thing. Here you've got a number of different short stories and poems, and that means you can pick it up anytime you want, read a few pages and enjoy this short story that's about something, like you say, you know about. A couple questions before we're done here, John. Are books becoming obsolete?
No, no. The book industry is it is changing dramatically. I think that they will be publishing physical books for a very long time. The introduction of e-books and all the technology involved with that is definitely a factor.
But there's still books.
But there still will be books, and I think that will continue for some time. One of the challenges I think that we as writers face is we have to learn to adapt to this. It's interesting how often when dealing with my students, the kinds of publications that they're submitting their poems and their stories to are online publications. That's becoming more and more prevalent. But that's not going to mean that there aren't going to be books.
The content is still the same. It's still long form, and it's either fiction or nonfiction.
Yes,
and it's basically a novel of some sort.
Right.
I did want to mention this book is not out yet. It's coming out in May. It'll be available probably at Snowbound Books and then at
Absolutely.
other resources. It's edited by Ron Reiki, who is a local man who has some familiarity with all this. There's going to be a reading at Peter White Library Monday, May 20th. Some of the authors will be there reading some of their pieces.
Yes, I don't know how many yet. Let's say anywhere from 4 to a half dozen of us. Whoever's in town will be there. Plus, during the summer, there's going to be a long list of readings and events involving many of these writers as they come back through town. So in the local press and the media, that schedule will be relayed, and I hope that people come out because there's some wonderful things coming up.
And a good source for finding that stuff out is the public library website. Peter White Public Library is usually on the clearinghouse for all this kind of information. Well, it sounds interesting, John, and I'm always interested in writing and what encourages and inspires writers, and I appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you very much, Doug.
Thank you very much.
You.
All right. Okay, stick around. More creative people, so don't go away.
Let me tell you about City Insurance. 20 years ago, we bought this little corner cafe. Now we're 2 restaurants, 2 liquor licenses, a brewery. We've got a lot of moving parts. We have antiques we have to insure, 100-year-old bars. Auto owners is great. We do real well with City Insurance. We're so pleased.
At City Insurance, we can tailor a program just right for you. Safe, sound, secure insurance protection from Auto Owners Insurance Company. The no problem people.
The Doug Garrison Show is brought to you in part by Iron Bay Computer and Design. Iron Bay gives you the quality and service you demand. And by Cliffs Natural Resources, a global mining leader with local investment and impact. Cliffs Natural Resources. And by Reflections Hair Salon, featuring professional stylists, a family-friendly atmosphere, and prices to suit your budget. For an appointment, call Reflections at 226-0175. All right, our night of 1,000 creative people continues. Actually, we've only had one so far. We have our second and third here, but with me are Mike Naddeo and Christine Flavin. Thanks for joining us. Mike, you're here because you have come up with a book. You are the photographer slash author and self-publishing this book, which is a part of something called MQT Project. And this is a book that I'll let you describe it. What's this book all about?
Well, it focuses mostly on like influential people in Marquette. I kind of set out to capture what really is the heart of this city and the people and the personalities that really make the city tick.
And I'm just going to kind of thumb through a little bit so people can see what's in this book here. But it's a lot of photos and a little description of the people that you have photographed, people that you think kind of somehow speak for or stand for the character of Marquette. Not necessarily the most important people or the richest or best looking, but certainly people that with a cross section of what makes this town what it is.
Exactly.
You know what I find most fascinating about this book? I'm in it. I'm in the book. It's a first. Well, it came out really good. And just so you know, we're going to see a video about this book in a minute, so you'll see more about what's in it. But with you here is Christine Flavin. Christine, you're a professor of photography at Northern, associate professor, and Mike is actually your student.
He is.
And this was a project that he did for this class.
Well, actually, the class project, it's a spin-off from the class project. It's a commercial lighting class, and Mike really took the last assignment and went with it and made it much, much bigger than what I required for the class.
Well, I was going to say, are all your students coming up with this kind of stuff like this?
I wish. That wouldn't be great.
Yeah, he did very good. It's a beautiful publication. Mike, what inspired you to come up with something that you could actually end up selling?
Well, I mean, I want to get into commercial photography after I graduate, so I thought that this would be a good way to just get that ball rolling. And
absolutely, and learn the whole process of creating and going through the steps of publishing. Yeah, I think that's neat. I had a great time posing for the photos and being a part of the video, and I thought you did a very professional job with it. You mentioned you want to get into photography. You're graduating this May. Yep. Coming up soon here. Where do you go from here?
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave the Marquette area. I'm heading back down to the greater Flint area as my fiance is down there. So I plan
Isn't
on-
that an oxymoron, Greater Flint?
I know.
I don't mean to come down on Flint. We should call it the Greater Marquette area.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's your next step?
Yeah, so I'll be down there, and hopefully getting into a studio partnership with the person down there.
Now, you also did a video. Was that actually a part of the project as well?
Not originally, but as I was interviewing people for the book and we were shooting, I was getting such great dialogue from everybody that came in, and I thought, I've got to start capturing this. So
As long as you're there and
yeah.
you've got cameras and mics and lights rolling, huh?
Yeah, so I got a couple friends and we started.
Okay.
started
Well,
doing video.
the video kind of says a lot about what the book's about. So let's take a look at the video.
There's a lot of stuff going on in this community, things like your project here that people don't know about, people should know about. There's a lot of events and activities. If you spent a year around this town, every weekend there's like 2, 3, 4 different things going on.
Hiking, canoeing, skiing.
That hits it pretty well.
Going out with friends, getting drinks, going to the parks.
Kind of like concerts and exhibits, and the few museums that we have really doing amazing work between the Foss and the History Center and everything else. And, the number of live performances is just kind of amazing.
Yeah, we try to really go to a lot of the community events and stuff. And, yeah.
I think we have an incredible community here. It's very vibrant, artistically, creatively. It's kind of a strange little phenomenon up here in the middle of nowhere that we've just got this amazing town that we live in.
Water, university, we're big water folks. We loved it, coming and visiting all the time. But over the years, what makes it so special, now in hindsight, and why we're still here, is the people, I think.
Well, one is it's the size. It's small enough that you can make an impact, but big enough that there are always people you don't know places. And it's open. It offers opportunity. And I think about starting a children's museum. If I would have been in Ann Arbor, where I had been living, and tried to start a children's museum, it never would have happened. I never could have done it. But here in Marquette, it's like we're always kind of ripe for change. We're ripe for something new. And so when I started it, I mean, of course, there were many obstacles, but there were people who absolutely helped me. They rallied, they opened doors for me, they came up and put drywall up. It's just like that. The community is just really a nice community.
But I used to sit on the ice floes, and I have shots of me with my hair down to here, and just watching the ice move, and I'd take my cameras down there. So it was really the ice and the beauty. Same thing that brought all these photographers here. There were so many photographers in the UP in the old days, and a lot of them shot nature stuff too, besides portraits. So that was it. It was Lake Superior. Saw it for the first time.
I think it's a combination. I think it's good fortune that the location and the lakes, and then the business and the business climate and the people and the university and the hospital and like an alternative lifestyle, affordable living.
Here's what I have always thought about Marquette. Marquette is we're a barn-raising community. We're fiercely independent, but interdependent. And we kind of let people do their own thing.
These are all people that make, there's a lot of people around here that inspire me.
Okay, I like that, of course, because I was in it. That was a great part. Did you enjoy that too? I liked it. Mike, very good video. Says a lot about the project itself and complements it, I think, very well. You've got a showing, the video and the book are at the DeVos Museum of Art. Tell us about that.
Well, it's a senior show, and that's basically what this project was created for.
So a lot of others as well in there?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
a ton of work, absolutely great stuff. And that'll be up until May 3rd.
Okay, well, great example. Go and see what people are doing, some of Christine's students, their work, and see the kind of stuff they're producing over there. A lot of very good students, a lot of good stuff coming out of Northern's campus. And again, if you want to buy that book, you go to blurb.com. You got to search through it for Project MQT, but you'll find it. It is available there. And it might be available in local bookstores soon, so keep an eye out for that. Mike and Christine, thanks for joining me. Good luck with Project MQT, and good luck in your future.
Thanks.
All right, stick around. More creative people coming up. Don't go away.
So, can anybody become a member at the Marquette Community Federal Credit Union? That's unbelievable! Can I get a home equity loan here?
You sure can, and a car loan too.
Can I refinance my mortgage here?
You bet, and we do car loans too.
You're kidding me!
No, it's true.
Hey, can I get a car loan here too? Thanks, Monty. That was easy.
Stop in and see Mickey or Loretta at our Marquette location or visit Dan at our Harvey location. Marquette Community Federal Credit Union, home of the same-day car loans.
A typical week of training for me is about 120 miles a week. In 2010, I had a meniscus tear after the Twin Cities Marathon. And so when I had my injury, I didn't have a second thought of where to go. I knew Advanced Center for Orthopedics, the doctors there, a lot of them are affiliated with sports. I knew that I was in the right hands. Advanced Center for Orthopedics got me back to my passion, and I recommend them highly.
All right, our creative cavalcade continues once again, taking advantage of everything that's coming to us from Northern Michigan University in this community. With me is Ryan Stevens. Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having
me. You are here because you won the Northern Naturally category of the NMU Marketing Department Video Contest.
That is correct.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're a sophomore. What did you say your major is?
Environmental Studies and Sustainability. Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily video, but how does that translate into the video you produced?
Well, what I like to do is kind of just display the beauty of the environment and kind of convey that to an audience as easily as possible, and I do that through video and photography.
And that's what we're going to see in your video, a lot of the environment, I take it. Do you also take still photos? Are you a photographer of still photography as well?
Yep,
yeah.
I am.
Okay. And you won this category. What'd you win for that?
The marketing department awarded me $500.
All right.
So
Ryan's buying $500. Now, you indicated there's another step to the process.
There is, yep. At the end of this week, there is campus-wide voting for the overall winner between the highest scorers of each category. So.
Okay, and campus, so students can vote on that?
Yep, students, faculty, and professors.
And who voted on the winner for this? Was that student voting as well, or the marketing department?
That was through the marketing department, okay. Correct.
I'm guessing they might then use your video in some of their marketing tools somehow?
Mm-hmm. Yep, yeah. They did last year as well.
Oh, great.
Yep. So.
Yeah, and you're from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, so maybe some of your folks down in Oconomowoc will see some of your work promoting Northern Michigan University.
Yeah.
And Marquette. Yeah. All right, well, here it is. Let's take a look at it. This is the winning video of Northern Naturally from Ryan Stevens. All right, very nice, Ryan. I think you did a good job capturing a lot of the spirit of this area and had some of your friends out there enjoying the outdoors and incorporated them into the video. I only had one problem with it. I wasn't in it. Where was I? Well, maybe next year.
We'll have to work that out.
Well, congratulations again. Nice work. And hopefully you can continue doing this in your field of environmental studies and pull it all together. So
right,
appreciate you coming on. Good luck next week with that next vote.
All right, thank you.
All right, Ryan Stevens. All right, we'll come back with some final thoughts right after this, so don't go away.
Let's go to Vango's, your friendly neighborhood bar and restaurant, serving up the freshest homemade food and pizza. It's the perfect casual atmosphere to meet friends and family. Enjoy Greek favorites such as gyros and Greek salads. Join us for Mexican Tuesday and Friday fish fry. Vango's is the home of the oldest pizza parlor in Marquette. Come taste the difference. We make our own dough and sauce from scratch using only the freshest ingredients. Dine in for lunch or dinner 7 days a week with delivery available. Let's go to Vango's, North 3rd Street, Marquette.
Now this is a sea of cars and trucks.
And how about over 130 that get over 30 MPGs?
4 all-wheel drive models that get over 26 miles per gallon.
We have the top 5 selling cars in America all under one roof.
And if you haven't heard, we're making car buying fun again.
Right now you can save on all remaining 2012.
And if it's all about low payment for you, then how about this Toyota Corolla, just $149 per month? And Toyota Camry, $199 per month. We thought you'd like that.
Riverside Auto of Marquette, where you never have to drive for a better price.
Students need your help to stay ahead of the curve. You support Marquette Catholic Schools when you shop, donate, or volunteer at Divine Consign and Donated Furniture. Great furniture, great prices, great cause. Divine Consign.
In summary, remember the book, The Way North. John Smolens was here with that. It's an anthology containing works by 42 different authors with some connection to the UP. That book will be available sometime in May. Look for that. Mike Naddeo was here with his Project MQT book and video with me in it. Check that out at the DeVos Art Museum. That's a showing by all senior students, their senior projects on display through May 2nd. That's something that'd be very good to check out on Northern's campus. And of course, we had the first place video in the Northern Video Contest. That was Ryan Stevens, kind of a cool thing showing what he thinks is important about this area. I want to thank our guests for being with us tonight, and I want to thank you for joining us at home. We'll see you here again next week.